Dear students, today we will learn a new chapter called carbon and its compounds. Now, you have learned that carbon is a non-metal. Now, instead of studying so many elements, why we have to study in 10th standard, especially the one particular non-metal, carbon? That question may rise in your mind, right? Now, the reason is the material which are the objects we are using in our day to day life, much of the materials, the things are made up of carbon. It may be cloth, it may be food, it may be medicine, it may be your shelter, where the object, much of the objects, if you go on list it in our day to day life, it is made up of carbon compounds. One of the main non-metal present in it is carbon. So, it is very important, and as well as one more thing is, if you study all the living beings, the whatever matter will find in the living beings, it is made up of carbon mainly. Actually, the study of carbon compounds is referred as organic chemistry. In the chemistry, it is given as separately we learn it organic chemistry, and organic means it is related to organism. In biology, you know what is the meaning of organism, right? So, that is the importance of this carbon. So, we should know about the carbon compounds, how it forms, so what is the speciality of carbon, how it is possible so many things are made up of carbon compounds, carbon especially. Okay. Now, in this regard, today we will learn the few important properties made the carbon present in so much compounds that we will study in today's class, like the special properties, it's a covalent bond, then tetravalency and catenation. These three important characteristics of a carbon element. Now, even though carbon is present, you will get surprised to see this information, hear this information. If you consider the earth crust, the presence of carbon is 0.02%. So small it is, either in the form of the petrol or the natural gas, the petroleum, natural gas, or it may be in the form of minerals like carbonates or hydrogen carbonates. In that form, it exists only 0.02%. 1% also carbon is not present on the earth crust. If you take the atmosphere, its presence, the presence of carbon compound is just in the, it may be in the form of carbon dioxide or other oxide, it is just 0.03%. Okay. So, that much, not percent, that is the thing, 0.03, that is the value. Okay. That least it is occupied by the carbon compounds in the future of a sector graph if we take, or the total content if we take. Okay. Even it is so small, we will have thousands of carbon compounds present in the earth, or we are using it, or it is present in different forms. So, we have to study carbon. So, we will learn now the first property of the carbon, namely the covalent bond. You have learned in the one of the chapters, namely metals and non-metals, how the bond formation takes place between the metal and non-metal atoms by the giving or taking the outermost valence shells. A bond will form between the ion formation takes place by giving or taking, and this positive and negative ions form the attraction between each other and form the bond, which is ionic bond. We studied it. What is the covalent bond? And what is the property of the covalent bond compounds? Like carbon present, I said no, it is having covalent bond. What is the property of this covalent bond? That we'll study. Okay. Now, you have learned that the atoms of the element, they want stability, right? They want stability. How do they get the stability? One way is by giving the electron or taking the electron in the outermost shell and getting the octet structure. What is the structure? Octet structure. That is the important thing. This structure, octet structure, the element want to attain. That is the stability of any atom. The atom of the element want octet structure. This it want to get it. But if you take the atom of any element, it may not have this structure, the 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Your this gases, inert gases have this structure. The neon, argon, krypton, they have completely filled shells, so they have stable structure. But if you see the other atoms, they don't have this structure. Now, one way is to lose or to take electron, that we studied. Now, what about the carbon? If you take carbon, its symbol is C and its atomic number is 6. Atomic number of carbon is 6. It means if you take the one atom of carbon, if you have the nucleus at the center, first you have K shell, 2 electrons it has, and next one you have, because only 2 electrons you can fill in the K shell, and you have how many electrons left out in the outermost valence shell, we call it as valence shell. So 2 electron here and remaining 4 electron in the outermost shell, namely valence shell. So we have 4 electrons in the carbon shell. Now to get structure 8, either or to completely fill the structure, either 8 or the outer innermost shell should be completely filled. K shell have only maximum capacity is 2, it won't get 8. So 2 also, K shell 2 electron also stable structure like helium. Okay. Now we will come to the structure of the carbon here. Okay. Now if you see the carbon atom here, it has got how many electrons? Write it. If you take the nucleus of the carbon, this is the nucleus of carbon, and you have K shell and you have L shell. This is the K shell, this is the L shell, and we have 2 electrons in the K shell and 4 electrons in the L shell, 4 electrons. Now it wants 4 more electrons so that it become totally 8 electrons. If it take 4 electrons, here in the center, how many protons it has got? Totally 6 protons it has got, right? And it should attract, to get the stable structure, it should maintain how many electrons? First already not 6 proton, it has got 6 electron. If it takes 4 electron from the outside other atom, 6 plus 4, 10 electrons. So 6 protons, it should have fold this 10 electrons to have the stable structure of atom. It is difficult. Okay. Then if it want to lose this 4 electron, this atom, it want to lose 4 electron so that the innermost shell become completely filled, stable structure it will get. And if it give out this 4 electron, the 6 proton will have only to have 2 electrons. Now, right, the stability of the structure, which have the stable structure of the atom, that is difficult. Okay. Just 1 electron, 2 electron gaining or losing, the nucleus will not get that much disturbance to maintain that stability of that particular atom. But here in case of carbon, either giving 4 electron is difficult or taking 4 electron is difficult to maintain the stable structure of the atom. Then what it should do? It should do this stability, not giving or not taking completely, by sharing of electrons. Here sharing of electrons takes place, and by doing that it will get the stable structure of 8 electrons. So that is the bond, new type of bond we are going to learn, which is nothing but covalent bond. Okay, it is called covalent bond. I will give the examples of the molecules where the covalent bond formation takes place, and you will learn it about it. Now you have learned that the hydrogen gas, the gas hydrogen is, we will write as H2. It is hydrogen exists in the gas in the form of diatomic molecule. Two atoms of hydrogen combine by the covalent bond and form hydrogen molecule. Now how this molecule formation takes place? By covalent bond. What actually takes place? Now if you take hydrogen atom, it has got only one proton. This is the nucleus of hydrogen. It has got only one electron in the K shell. K shell it is. K shell. Now K shell is the innermost shell. Its maximum capacity of having electron is only 2. Helium structure it want to attain. K shell is 2 electron. So not 8 here. You have seen the inert gases or stable noble gases. Helium, that is also noble gas which won't react. Stable structure it has got 2 electrons. So it want to have 1 electron here. So what it will do is, and if you take one more hydrogen atom which will form bond with this hydrogen atom, this is the nucleus, another hydrogen atom. Nucleus, this is also nucleus, and this hydrogen has got a 1 electron. Now this 1 electron of first hydrogen atom and the 1 electron of this second hydrogen atom, the 2 electrons now, it is this one pair of electron is shared. They share this one pair of electron by these 2 molecules. This hydrogen also have now 2 shared electrons, one from its and one from the other hydrogen atom. So it will have now, if you see this particular portion, it belongs, this region, it belongs to this atom also, this region belongs to this atom also. So there are 2 electrons, these 2 electrons shared by this hydrogen atom as well as this hydrogen atom. And you, by that sharing, so it cannot separate now, sharing takes place, so it will held together by a force called covalent bond. Okay, the bond is called covalent bond, and here this 2 electron belongs to this atom also, this 2 electron belongs to this atom also. By that they will get the stable structure, and usually we will represent it by hydrogen, and the covalent bond is single bond. It is called a single covalent bond. Single covalent bond. Single covalent bond is nothing but one pair of electron is shared between two any atoms. Here it is hydrogen atoms. 2 hydrogen atoms share one pair of electrons, 2 electrons between themselves, and by doing this process they form a bond, covalent bond, and it is, this covalent bond is called single bond because one pair of electron is shared, and we will symbolically represent this H, one line and another H. One line indicates single covalent bond. Now there are other type of covalent bond is there, like double covalent bond, double bond and triple bond in covalent bond. That we will study, you will understand. High oxygen molecule. Next we will take a oxygen molecule. In case of oxygen molecule, oxygen atomic number, how much? 8. Oxygen atomic number 8. So I will draw the nucleus of oxygen. I wrote O, it is oxygen nucleus, and it has got the K shell. K shell, how many electrons? 2 electrons. Always K shell, 2 electrons. Next shell is a L shell. This is K shell, this is L shell. Here how many electrons? 2 electrons here. Then 8, so 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electron. Now one more oxygen with which it will form the bond. Nucleus of the oxygen atom O. Then how many electrons? K shell, 2 electrons, and L shell. This is the L shell, this is the K shell. How many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here, if you observe here, this oxygen atom outermost valence shell has got 6 electrons. It wants 2 more electrons to get 8 electrons, the octet structure, right? Now these 2 electrons is shared by this second oxygen atom. It will donate 2 electrons for the sharing purpose. So this 2 electron is given by this. So total, if you count in the outermost shell of the first oxygen atom, now count how many electrons you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's 2 electron, and these 2 electrons not given completely, shared by this. So totally if you count it, it has got now 8 electrons, which is needed for the stability of this atom. Now this oxygen atom, outermost shell, you count it, how many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's 6 electrons, and this atom also gives 2 electrons for sharing the purpose, sharing the electrons. Because when this 2 will share the electrons, same number of electrons is shared by each atom. This will share 2 electrons, as well as this atom shares 2 electrons. So now 2 pair of electrons will be there. The pair of electron is now number is 2. This is 1 pair. Pair means 2. This is 1 pair. It is the second pair. So totally 4 electrons involved in the sharing of electrons. 2 electron is donated by, not donated actually, shared by first atom, and 2 electron is shared by the second atom. So 2 pairs will be there. Actually we have 2 pairs. 2 pairs we have. 2 pairs of shared electrons. Okay. So this particular place, it is common for both the atoms. So this 4 electron belongs to this also, and this 4 electron also belongs to this atom. So we will show it symbolically. Oxygen and another oxygen, covalent bond forms, but it is called double bond. It is called a double bond because 2 pair of electrons shared between the 2 atoms. It is called double bond. This covalent bond is called double bond. And we have one more bond, namely triple bond. Triple bond. Triple bond. Here, example I will take a nitrogen molecule. Nitrogen molecule. We will write a N2. Nitrogen molecule N2 it is. Now nitrogen atomic number of nitrogen is 7. Atomic number of nitrogen is 7. So if you draw the diagram, 2 nitrogen atoms, this one nucleus, nitrogen I will write, then K shell, how many electron always? 2 electron, and the L shell, how many electron? 7, 2 is written, 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Different color I will show it so that you will understand. This is electron. Cross mark I have put. And another nitrogen atom. Nitrogen nucleus. Then first shell, K shell. How many electrons? 2 electrons. Then the outside L shell, how many electrons? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now see this region, the region which is shared by both the electrons, this particular region. Now here how many electrons we have? 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair. Total 6 electrons, 3 pair here. 3 pairs. 3 pairs means 6 electrons. 6 electrons. This will share between the 2 atoms. Now it has got 5 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this atom, and 3 more it will get from the shared by the other atom. So totally 5 plus 3, 8 it has got in the outermost shell, octet structure. And in this nitrogen atom also 5, its own 5 electron is there, 1, 2, because it won't give completely, it will have there its electron also, and it will get, it not getting, it will while counting or while revolving, this 3 electrons also go here also come here. It will share between both the electrons. Okay. So 5 plus 3 again it has got 8 electrons. So here 3 pairs of electron sharing takes place, and we will have the bond now, nitrogen and nitrogen between triple bond. 3 covalent bonds. One line indicates one bond, 1 pair of electrons, 2 pair of electrons, 3 pair. Totally 3 pair of electrons shared between 2 nitrogen atoms. So it is called a triple bond. It is called triple bond, and this is the 3 important ways we have the different types of covalent bond. Either it may be single bond between 2 atoms, or it may be double bond sharing 2 pair of electrons, or it may be triple bond. So in this way the sharing takes place. When it shares the outermost particular number of pair of electrons, a bond will form between those 2 atoms after sharing that of electrons, and they cannot separate. It will held together in the form of molecule, and that is the covalent bond. But this covalent bond, when it forms different molecules, intramolecular force is little weaker, and that is the way they have this covalent compounds, which having the covalent bond have less boiling point or melting point compared to the ionic compounds. There the force of attraction is much. And here in covalent compounds we do not have completely charged ions here, because it will not completely give the electrons, the shared electrons. So when if it gives completely one atom the electron to the another atom, it will become ion, charged particle it becomes, and this charged particle help in the conduction of electricity. That is why ionic compounds are good conductors of electricity, either in molten state or in the liquid state. You have learned it, properties of ionic compounds. Here covalent compounds, since they do not have any charges, they will not conduct electricity. They are not good conductor of electricity. Their melting and boiling point is less. So these are the few properties of covalent bond. And in case of carbon, which way the covalent bond formation takes place between other atoms, or by sharing the electron also takes place between one carbon to other carbon. So in detail we will go through it in the next class. So you try to practice this bond formation, covalent bond formation in different molecules like hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Then you will understand how we can apply this in case of carbon compounds. Okay. That is about today's class. We will learn much more in the next class.